Hello, Jo here. Just thought I'd make a little video about grief and complicated grief. So in general, when we lose someone, the process of grieving, painful, very painful, but generally we can do it. At some level we know how to do it. I don't think in this culture that we live in, I don't think it's particularly conducive to supporting us with the grieving process. We've got a lot of weirdness in our culture, maybe because often we're quite removed from death, the way we live now. But also some of the ways that the rituals that we have around death maybe are not quite as conducive to grieving as they could be. And often we can cry at a funeral and we're encouraged to cry after for a bit, but then we tend to tidy ourselves away or perceive that others won't want us to tidy our grief away. And also I think for some people maybe we don't cry when other people expect us to cry, and that needs to be respected a little bit more as well. But in general, we'll do it. We'll take as long as we take. We'll never be over it. But we will move on. Complicated grief is where we get stuck for some reason. So an example might be if the nature of the death, say the death of the loved one was by suicide, or something that they themselves could have prevented. You can imagine how we might get stuck in our grieving process if we are angry, for example, at that person, but not really able to allow ourselves to feel and process that anger. We can get stuck. Grief can also be complicated for us if it takes us back to earlier losses or developmental trauma, so difficulties that occurred in our childhoods. That was certainly the case for me. So that took quite a lot of unpicking and unravelling, which I'm very glad I did. Yeah, and if the relationship with the deceased was difficult, so say it was a parent who had mistreated you in childhood or at points during your life, or anybody that had mistreated you or you had a difficult relationship with, but now they're dead, and you're like, well, what do I do with this? And there's all kinds of feelings, some of which might not feel particularly palatable. So if you're in a complicated grief situation, if it feels complicated, you've been stuck for a while, you want some movement, some change, then maybe get in touch. I offer a free consultation on Zoom or on the phone, and I can see clients face to face in Derby or Tutbury or online. Yeah, I'll see you soon.